This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. My co-host today, Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So, Anthony, I'm wondering if our radio audience, looking deeply in the radio, can see the Cabo tan that I got from 3 weeks in Cabo. You guys looking into your radio, I'm a little darker.
He is.
A little better looking than I was.
Yeah.
And then I was from 3 weeks in Cabo will just do you good. I'm just saying.
You look younger, too, man. I'm proud of you.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, you want a raise? I have to get on the radio and learn how to do this again. After 3 weeks, it's like, I got to learn how to do a lot of stuff again.
Yeah, but I'm here. I've been holding it down with you with the other personalities, so I can teach you something.
I heard, like, you and Deloney were a big hit on Friday.
Hey, man, we had a blast. When we got James and Kelly in there, we got to be a big hit.
Yeah, because they're hard on you afterwards.
Oh,
if not. It's they're taskmasters, are they?
There's two offices I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in your office. I don't want to go in James and Kelly's.
I've never been mean to you in my office. I want to be mean to you. I'll do it right here on the air.
Oh, well.
You can't do anything wrong in my office.
Oh, no.
Like a principal's office. Come on, man.
Listen, man.
All right, folks, I am happy to be back. I love doing this show. I love working with you guys and helping you. And it has been an eventful couple of weeks around Ramsey while I've been gone. And a lot of change, a lot of things different than they were, a lot of pain in the process. But we're here, and we're excited to help you guys and serve you. It's what we do. It is a free call at 888-825-5225. Some say the advice is worth what you pay for it, so shut up. If you don't like my advice, you can cut my pay in half. 888-825-5225. Andrew's going to start us off in California. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Dave, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
All right. So I'm on baby step 7. I'm investing now. 21 years old. I'm in the military. So living in a barracks room, I have no mortgage. I have a Roth IRA open with Vanguard with $12,000 in it. But it's in a money market account and has been since I started deployment. What should I invest in?
Okay. Well, good. So you're in baby step 7 because you don't have a house, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Good.
What's in baby step 3, Andrew, real quick? What's your fully funded emergency fund amount? I just actually came back from deployment with the USS Nimitz. So I actually have... you should have a lot.
I have a healthy little checking account.
Yeah. How much is in your healthy checking account?
About $34,000 and then another $12,000 in savings.
Good for you.
That's
well, thank you for your service, sir. Yeah. We appreciate your service. And
thank you.
It's quite an assignment you've been given, and very, very well done. So what we teach is to invest in good mutual funds. It's what I have done for 40 years, and what Anthony does and what all of us here do. We invest in growth stock type mutual funds. There are 4 categories, and we split it evenly across those, and that's what you need to get in touch with Vanguard and move into those 4, or get in touch with one of our SmartVestor pros to help you with that. They are not people that work for us, but they're people that we recommend that will do things, and they will teach you, which is really important at your stage of investing for you to start learning, because investing can be a little bit intimidating, can't it?
Oh, for sure. I was looking at my account today, and I was seeing a lot of terms that I didn't really recognize.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it. One that caught my attention was U.S. growth stock with a $3,000 investment minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about going into that one, but I didn't understand it. So
that's good. Don't put money in something you don't understand.
Yeah, and Andrew, I think the key thing here, what Dave is saying, what I want to tell you as a young person too, is that I like the fact that you're saying, "Hey, I don't understand this." Well, it's very important to remember what Dave said. Find a financial advisor. And I'll say this. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of, certain people. I want you to go to one of our Smart Vested pros because they're going to spend time with you and teach you everything you need to know. I'm not going to speak negative about Vanguard, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to give you as much one-on-one training as our Smart Vesters will. And it's important for you at your age to really get the knowledge while you're investing your money. And so ask the good questions.
Yeah, the nervousness that you feel with anything new is wisdom. Mm-hmm. Like the first time you get behind the wheel of a car, you've never driven a car, you're nervous. The first time you do X or Y, ride a bicycle, whatever the metaphor we want to use is. So the fact you don't know what you're doing and makes you nervous, that's wisdom. But that's also says you got some learning, and the more you learn, the more comfortable you are, and it will become like driving a car, where initially you were nervous, but eventually you develop a level of competency, and you learn the terms, and you're very comfortable with them. The good news is if you sit down with a Smart Vestor Pro with the heart of a teacher, they're going to teach you. Now let's start with that, where you were a minute ago, okay? A growth stock mutual fund. Now what a mutual fund is think about anything that's mutual is a group of people. So a mutual fund is a group of people funded a fund. And so you put some money in, I put some money in, Anthony put some money in, right? It's a mutual fund, mutually funded. That's where it comes from, okay? That's a mutual fund.
Okay.
Instead of buying a single stock, whatever they invest that money that we mutually funded into tells us what kind of mutual fund it is. And so if they invest that money into bonds, then it's a bond mutual fund. If they invest that money into companies' stock, ownership in that company, and these are companies that are growing, we would call those growth stocks, right?
Okay.
And if it's a mutual fund, it would be a growth stock mutual fund. In your case, it was U.S., which tells us one more thing. Where are all these companies, Andrew?
The grand old United States of America.
There you go, baby. And so if it were an international fund, it would have only funds that are not U.S., companies that are not U.S. If it's a world fund, then it's the whole world. So it's got some U.S., some foreign in it. But in your case, you're looking at American companies only that are growing, and it's multiple different companies, 90 to 200 different companies that'll be bought in there, and people mutually funded this fund, including you, and so you own a piece of a whole bunch of pieces of little bitty pieces of growth companies that are growing, and that will grow your money like about 10 times as fast as that stupid money market account you're in. So that's your first lesson, dude. This is how you learn it. Well done. I'm proud of you. And again, thank you for your service. Click SmartVestor Pro at DaveRamsey.com, and we'll get you lined up. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show. Open phones as we talk about your life and your money. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Brian is in Arkansas. Hey, Brian, welcome to The Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Thanks, Dave. Welcome back. You were missed, and thank you for all you and your team does.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I am 59 years old. I'm looking to retire in 6 years. I have a 401k, a Roth, and a traditional. I'm thinking about rolling it doesn't make sense to roll my traditional into a Roth. I do have the cash to pay the taxes. Or should I take that cash and invest it in real estate?
Well, neither one's a dumb thing. Yeah. It's just a matter of preference, which one you want to do. How much is in your Roth, or how much is in your traditional that you would convert?
About $240,000.
Okay. And so you're talking about, what, a $70,000 tax bill?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. And what other nest egg do you have?
That is it. I have the cash, other than my house, which is paid for. Don't have any debt.
Okay. So here's the thing. The longer you leave that alone after converting it to a Roth, the more sense it makes for it to be converted. Okay? So if you convert it and start drawing down on it almost immediately, I would be less likely to do that. If you're going to convert it and never touch it for 10, 15, 20 years because you've got other things you're going to live on, then I'd be more likely to do that. Do you own other investment real estate?
No.
Okay.
And if you was to purchase real estate right now, Brian, would you pay cash for it, or using that $70,000 to put down?
No, I would pay cash for it.
How much cash are you sitting on?
About $220,000.
Okay. So what price range of real estate are you thinking about buying?
Well, rental property where I'm at is pretty tight because of universities around.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going around 220 to 240. Just depends on what kind of deal you can get.
So it'd use up most of your cash if you did that deal.
Yes.
And if you do the $70,000, it takes you out of that market. You'd have to do a different kind of rental property or wait a little while.
Yeah, what I figured I would do if I went ahead and rolled the traditional into a Roth, I would then take the remaining money and put it into a low-cost stock index fund.
Mm-hmm. Until you had enough to buy a house.
Correct.
Yeah. What's your household income? How long is that going to be?
Let's see. Right now we're about 160, and that includes my wife, and she's looking to retire in 2 years. And when she does, it'll drop mine down. It'll drop our income down to about 105,000.
Yeah, but we're only talking about a year to get the money back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do the Roth now, buy a house a year from now, right?
Yeah, that's possible. Depends, if real estate keeps going up in this area like it has been, it would take it longer.
Yeah, but don't get real estate fever to the point that you start paying retail for stuff, or you start chasing returns or something like that. You're going to end up paying too much. The best money on a real estate that you make is when you buy it. Yeah. Meaning you get a good deal when you buy it. Yeah. That's what you're looking for. And so don't buy into the lie, oh, real estate's hot. You can't get a good deal. There's always a deal somewhere. You may have to poke around a little bit to find it, or you may have to put some paint on it later if you find it or something like that, but you'll find it. And especially if you're sitting there with cash and you're taking your time, and the deals are for the patient people. They're not for the ones that buy off on the, all real estate, it's a college town's always high. So yeah, that's that says you're getting ready to pay too much. You don't want to pay too much.
Now, when you pull it over to a Roth, how long before you draw out on it, Brian?
Oh, I'm looking at 6 years.
So you're less than 10 years.
Before you start drawing on it, but you would just barely start at that point. Mm-hmm. And as you had the rental property, it would change that as well.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Well, with the rental property, I could start using the income from that right away. And that's one of the things I was looking at.
You know what I do? I would start looking for deals right now. And if you can lay your hands on something, go ahead and do it that's really inexpensive, that's cheaper than you're thinking right now. And then use some of the rest of that and move some of the Roth money now and move some of it later. Yeah. If you don't find a deal, a bargain I'm talking about, not just something that's freaking for sale that you like. Yeah. I'm talking about a bargain. You're looking for, you want to make some of your neighbors a little upset with you.
So that means like if you're looking at a house of 220, 230, you're looking at a house like 160, 175.
Yeah, I'm making 180 offers on these 220s and find somebody who's a little more motivated to sell, even though it's a quote hot college town. So anyway, something like that, then that changes the equation.
Yeah.
If you don't find a 180 purchase on a 220 or something like that, then go ahead and make that Roth move within 6 months. And go ahead and make that Roth move. And in the meantime, you will have been saving up anyway. So we're only talking about a year difference either way. But the only way I would put the real estate ahead of the Roth, even though it's only 1 year, is if you got a bargain. And so start poking around, see if you can find that deal.
I think you can, Dave, with patience.
Look for something with the gutter hanging off, and you can put the gutter back up. They're not that hard to put up. So that's the kind of thing you're thinking of. I've owned thousands of pieces of real estate in my life. I used to flip for a living, and I currently own several $100 million worth. I love, love, love real estate. When I am buying real estate, I am trying to find a deal.
Yes, sir.
Because the old guy taught me when I was 20-something years old buying, he said the money is made at the buy.
Yeah.
Meaning what you pay for it is the thing.
Yeah.
The money's made at the buy. It's not location, location, location. That establishes the value.
Yeah.
But the money is made at the buy. So that's a good question. Susan's with us. Susan is in Columbus, Ohio. Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Better than I deserve, and that's for sure. What's up?
Thanks so much for taking my call. I have a tax/investing question. I'm very new to investing, so be patient with me. I was completing my taxes for 2020 with TurboTax, and I got an alert that I had overfunded my Roth IRA, which I guess I just wasn't paying attention, and that I needed to move those funds in order to avoid a penalty. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering what you would suggest I would do to correct that before finishing my taxes.
How much?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Dave. How much, Suzanne?
It's not much. It's about $600. So it's not like the penalty is scaring me, but I'd like to avoid it if I can and then correct for the future.
Okay, let's make sure TurboTax is right because they're not always.
Okay.
What did you put into the Roth?
So I put in over $6,000 this year. I got a raise and I was doing a percentage of my income, and so this year I put it over.
I see. Okay. And you're how old?
I'm 32.
Okay, then you're fine. That is correct then. Okay. So any amount that you've overfunded, you just have to move it into another investment. Just get it out of that account. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all. There is no penalty. You're fine. You caught it in time. You're not going to have anything. So just, get in touch with whoever wherever that investment is, and say, I need to move $600 out of here. It's overfunded, and you can move it over to a money market. You can move it into your checking account, whatever. Just get it back out of there. Yeah. Reverse the process that you used to overfund it, and then you're not going to have any issue. But they are right. They've given you the correct advice that that you are limited to $6,000 of earned income. And I'm assuming you had an earned income that high. So, good stuff.
Nice.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, it's good that you're getting it done. It's good that that's going to that level.
Have you ever had that call before, Dave? I overfunded my investment accounts?
It usually doesn't happen on an individual account. What can happen sometimes you'll hear it on a 401k. If you are a highly compensated employee.
Yeah.
With your company, and the bottom 80% of the company does not participate in the 401k at a high enough level, they limit how much you can put in.
Oh.
And so they'll back down, and you can have overfunded your 401k because of the highly compensated rule. That happens a lot more often than this does, because usually if you're doing an IRA, it's set up on a flat thing at $6,000, $500 a month coming out rather than a percentage.
Yes.
This is The Ramsey Show. the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jeremy is with us. Hey, Jeremy, welcome to the show.
How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
Another day above ground, so I beat the odds. Anthony, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I love your energy, bro.
Excellent.
Where do you live?
Village of Los Ranchos, New Mexico. It's right next to Albuquerque.
Oh, beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. It's
Very
gorgeous
nice.
out there. Yeah.
That's fun. Ooh. And all the way to Nashville to do a debt-free scream.
Yes, sir. And I got paid to get here, too. I drive a semi, so it worked out well.
I like this plan.
Yeah. I ain't playing.
This is a drive-by debt-free scream.
I'm parked across the street. Yes, sir.
I love it. All right, how much you pay off, Jeremy?
I paid off $89,941.48.
Love it. And how long did this take?
I started my debt-free journey April 17th of the 11th and finished up about the 11th of February of this year. So just short of 4 years.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And your range of income during that time?
Starting in 2018, it was $26,775, and currently I'm about the $40,800 mark.
And you did 90 grand in 4 years?
Well, I took you literally when you said beans and rice.
Okay.
I kid you not.
It was not a metaphor. You just did it. Okay.
Yeah, and I realized it one day about 2 months ago, maybe 3, that you were just kind of, playing it, so to speak, and I just kept doing it.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just drive. I just work all the time. I love to work. I love what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm a happy boy. I'm
That's
just going
fun.
to keep running. Yeah.
So what kind of debt was the 90 grand?
Let's see here. The first $87,603.48 was from a divorce property settlement. I've been more civilized bar fights than what that was. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I kid you not.
There's a broken beer bottle involved. I'm just saying.
I wish there was. It would have been less painful. And
Jagged edge cut.
Yeah. And then 2338 was a personal loan.
Okay. Wow. All right. So the property settlement is of, 4 years. Mm-hmm. You've been on beans and rice to get that in your rearview mirror. No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's been quite the experience. There's just no getting around it.
Yeah. So the pain of the divorce plus all this, man. I mean, this is a real thing to be done with, isn't it?
I'm going to work really hard on not getting sand in my eyes, but yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's been an experience for sure.
Yeah, this is freedom times 2 or 10.
Well, when I get to tell my story, when you're ready for me to do that,
do it. Tell it.
Okay. Yeah. February of 2002 was when my first divorce was finalized. I never thought I'd go through a divorce, let alone 2 of them. And that's where this property settlement came in. It was $1,000 a month for 3 years, spousal maintenance, and then child support all the way until my son turned 18. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of that 3 years, I was supposed to hand her a lump sum of $36,000. Mm-hmm. Right. I've never had $36,000 in my life. And so the minute you fall into arrears, it starts earning interest at 10%. Mm-hmm. And that's where the bar fight happened. Wow. And then just over 5 years ago, I was head over heels in love with my second wife, came home one day and she greeted me at the door with, "I'm not in love with you anymore." And I'm like, did I not get the memo? And so I left Phoenix. I was living in Phoenix at the time. I called my mom. I was in tears and, can I come home? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah. So driving home, I called a friend of mine, Wes, and I was a bouncer for him at a bar in Tucson, and told him what happened. And he said, "Jeremy, drive a truck." I said, "What?" And he said, "You'll always have money in your pocket. You'll always have a job." Mm-hmm. And so 3-4 months later, I got my CDL Class A, and I've been driving for 5 years in July, mm-hmm. and I've been doing flatbed for just over 2 years. Mm. And I love flatbed. Mm. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Throughout those 4 years, I mean, you clearly have been through a lot, but getting out of debt, what would you say was the hardest thing throughout that journey?
I think it was... There are times when the wheels don't feel like they're catching. Yeah. It like you're driving in the mud, and I get to do a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And I look back at the numbers, and when I hit I was at 40,000 or 60,000, I was like, woohoo! And now you almost feel nauseous when you think about that number and maybe being in that kind of debt ever again, which I will never do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It will not happen. Mm-hmm. But I really feel like that's what the hardest part was But then when you saw the traction, I get paid direct deposit. Well, my checks would hit at midnight on Mondays, I beg your pardon. And I would sometimes wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I lived off of X amount, and everything else I just sliced it right off the top and sent it in.
Wow.
And I would do that.
Now, who were you sending it to? Your ex, or to a lawyer, or the courts, or
the court system of Arizona? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So they're keeping track of this, and they're ticking it off as it goes.
Yeah, and that's where it went kind of sideways a little bit towards the end. I thought I was done, and then I talked to my friend who's an attorney, and he was telling me, he's like, well, no, you've got this and that. And I'm like, what? And they're like adding another $3,000 to it. And it was for fees that they didn't count up and add on till the start of the next year kind of thing. So it was really kind of wonky. And when I was trying to make those last payments, I'll never forget, I called them and I was trying to do it over the phone and it wouldn't accept it. And I'm like, this is really weird. The government is not taking my money. And I called Department of Economic Security, all of them in Arizona. I called them 15 times that day, and I called my attorney. I called my financial coach, who's endorsed by you, Karen Pennock, and they're all double checking everything. And they said, no, you're zeroed out. I almost went off the road. I started crying.
Wow.
So yeah, I was in Little Rock.
Yeah. So it's over.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Finally over.
Yes.
So who introduced you to us?
My second wife, we had actually kind of started talking about the program, and then there was some malfeasance on her part. She was a painkiller addict. And for all the time we were together, we were married for almost 11 years. I turned a blind eye to the fact that that's what she did. Missing money, and I'd find her passed out, or it was horrible. And I just kept going, oh, it's great.
So what's the future look like now?
If it got any brighter, I'd be wearing sunglasses right now. So, yes, sir.
So proud of you, man.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Well done.
Anthony, thank you.
Well done. You got to feel good.
I do.
There's a cleanliness to your story that's pretty incredible.
Well, thank you, sir.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
It's a bunch of crap, and it's all behind you.
Yes.
That's just a cool feeling.
Yes. That's the greatest feeling for sure.
Yeah. So proud of you. Very
Thank you,
well
sir.
done. What do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is? I mean, you went all in.
I did. I think that's just really what you got to do. You just got to say what I was doing before wasn't working, and you just got to commit. It's just like, I was in the military and I taught karate for 20 years. And if you're going to do something, you got to just buckle down and get it done.
Yeah.
You learn to say no to yourself and just, nose to the grindstone, as it were.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly all in.
Yeah.
All in. Well, we've got a copy of our latest best-selling book here for you, Know Yourself, Know Your Money by Rachel Cruz. That'll be your gift for the day. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So proud of you. All right, it's Jeremy. I'm sorry?
Dave, I'm sorry. I've got a list of people to thank.
Okay, have at it.
Because otherwise I won't ever
Better
be able-
go fast.
Yes, sir. My mom, Olivia, my sister, Deborah, my son, Remy, my friends, Wes, Grant, Max, Rob, Meredith and Ray, Angie, Fernando, Jeff, my Timco family, Colton, Dan, Cooper, and Tim, Kelly and Mike, my karate instructor, Sean, and his wife, Rebecca, the Dave Ramsey baby step community as well.
I love it, man. They're awesome.
Yep.
That's a great Facebook page.
Yes, it is.
All right, $90,000 paid off in 4 years. Jeremy did it, making 26 to 40. Is all beans and rice for real. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free.
Yeah! That's how you do it. I love it. Woo! Yeah!
I like that one.
Transformation is all about new beginnings.
Yes, sir.
It's all about new beginnings.
Yeah.
Fresh start.
Yeah. And if you look into his eyes, you can see he got some sand in his eyes, Dave. You can see.
Yeah, there's a little leaking going on.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. It's
I'm
a fresh start. There's a cleanliness that you can just feel it in his spirit. It's awesome. Hey, guys, when are you going to do that? Those of you listening right now, you've been kind of listening and not doing this. I want you to be on here. I want you to be free, man. Get after it. Get it, baby. Get it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Dave Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Terry is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Terry. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, I'm a 73-year-old married individual. This year, next month, we'll make it 53 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Blessed by God beyond measure. I had two marvelous careers, again, directed by God, a 21-year career in the Navy and then a 20-year career in aviation,
wow,
education. And I currently own my own home. I have actually followed your advice for about 40 years. So my wife and I have tried to live debt-free almost our whole married lives. But I own my own home, debt-free of that. But I have a rental home that my son has been renting. And I just recently purchased another rental home that he's going to be living in. It's in a school district, actually, where I was the principal of the school, so we wanted our granddaughter to attend that same school. So my question is, the home that he's currently living in, I owe about $91,500 on it. It's probably a sale value of about, $120,000, $125,000. And I'm wondering, should I just sell that thing or should I rent it? Current mortgage is $659, and I can probably rent it for $1,200.
Okay. Is your son paying you market rent on the other property?
On the one that he's currently living in.
Well, the one he's moving into, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to be paying the mortgage on that.
Why didn't he just buy a house?
He's got his own business, and he couldn't qualify for the home. And as you know, houses down here, how we've been looking in that area. Like I said, we wanted our granddaughter to go attend the school that I was a principal, and so there were hardly any houses on the market. And when that one came available, it was a nice house. And actually, the day it went up for sale, we made an offer on it.
Well, let's reverse engineer your question then.
Okay. Sure.
If you had $40,000 sitting in the middle of your kitchen table, or $30,000, and you did not own the property that he's moving out of that you're asking me about, would you go buy it?
If just $40,000 to do whatever with?
No, I'm saying $40,000 because that's your down payment, and then you got a $90,000 mortgage, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because if you sell it, it's going to put $30,000 in the middle of your kitchen table.
Right, but I'm going to have to pay capital gains on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, there'll be a little, but it won't be. Have you been depreciating the property?
Yes, sir.
For how many years?
Oh, about 11.
Yeah, you'll have some capital gains that are pretty substantial then. So it sounded, the way you worded it, it sounded like you like the property and you think it'd be good to own it. I don't see a problem with you owning it. I do want you to go back to your original philosophy and let's get these properties paid off.
Yeah. Do you have any cash, Terry, to pay them off?
I'd have to liquidate some mutual funds.
How much do you have in mutual funds?
Well, I've got two IRAs and a mutual fund. I've got about $310,000.
Okay. What other nest egg do you have other than that?
I've got a stock in a company that Square Incorporated that I bought at like $9 a share. The last time I looked, it was like $40 a share.
What's it worth? What's your total portfolio worth?
Oh, probably not counting the house.
No, I'm saying that stock. What's that stock? The value of that account?
Oh, probably about $35,000.
Okay. I would use that towards that mortgage, and let's get that mortgage paid off as quick as you can with that other $60,000. I would not liquidate your mutual funds. I just start doing it out of the budget and clean it up as fast as you can. If you're going to keep it, let's have a plan to get it paid off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd sell it.
Okay. Yeah. My only thought process with keeping it was where else can I invest the money and probably make about $400 a month net?
Well, you're not making $400 a month because you're going to have expenses on that. You're going to have vacancy. You're going to have everything else. You're probably making $200 a month.
Yeah.
So you're not, and it could end up actually being a cash drain as long as you leave that stupid debt on it. So the only way I would do it if I were in your shoes is get rid of the debts very soon, if not immediately.
Yep.
And I would not use your $300,000 to do that. I would use $35,000 in stock to do that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dave. That's why I was asking. And then, too, I don't really like the fact that he's renting the house out to his son at just mortgage.
In a neighborhood that the son can't afford to buy in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like that's scary.
That's a potential liability that's going to come back and bite you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so boy child needs to get his own mortgage and get that thing paid off, get it out of your name as soon as possible, too.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about where your kid goes to school. You don't go hundreds of $1,000s in debt to get a school district.
Thank you for saying that, Dave.
Yeah, that's
that's not smart.
Yeah, well, you're going to get bit.
Yeah,
is what's going to happen, and we're using the love of grandbaby to justify all this.
Yeah.
So, and I love my grandbabies.
Absolutely.
So that's not the issue.
Absolutely.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Amy is in Muncie, Indiana. Hi, Amy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. How are you?
Sure. How come better than I deserve? How can we help?
Okay, my question is, my husband and I just opened a business together. It's so far been very successful. It's only been 5 weeks, but we also still have our own business. I have one. He has one. My question is, how do we combine everything together and pay bills out of one account? So like my business, I just use it for business only, and then I have a separate checking account that I pay for all of our house bills. He uses his business account for everything. And then our new account, I don't think we should use it at all because at this point we don't even know actually what we're making from it.
All right, let's try this. Let's try this.
Combine?
These are three separate businesses that operate independent of each other, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Each of those should have their own checking account. Yes. And you should not do any personal business out of those checking accounts. Right. Then you should have a household. Then you should have a household account that is your home account, and that's where you buy groceries and pay the light bill and eat and do all these other, save for the kids' college, all these kinds of things that you're going to do. The profits come out of the three checking accounts from the business to hold out some money for taxes so you don't get bit on your quarterly or your quarterly estimates, and then roll the money into your personal account. Both of your names ought to be on all of these accounts.
Yeah.
Yes, both of our names is on all of them.
Okay.
But however, we've only been married a year and a half, and we still I don't write anything out of his. He doesn't write anything out of mine. Even though our names are on all of them, we still use it like it's separate, and I think it's causing problems.
Yeah, you need to have a plan where you're all in agreement about all the money.
Yeah.
On how the businesses are run and how much money comes out of those businesses, what expenses those businesses are doing, and then when it comes home and it goes into that home account, you're certainly in agreement on everything there.
Yeah. And it sounds like you all are still separate a little bit. I mean, combine the mindset. This is our businesses as a couple, as a family. I mean, do things jointly, not separately.
Yeah, what happens when I'm working with these entree leadership guys is they'll use their business account to buy crap that they can't get away with if they bring the money home. That's exactly what's going down right here.
Exactly.
I can just tell it. Yeah, you're not going to buy that out of the personal account, so I'm just going to sneak it out. That's my business over there. Yeah, I don't think so, Bubba. That's not how it works. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
The house is in good shape. It's, doubled in price. We've had it for 6 years.
So if you sold it to the tenant, what's it sell for? If you sell it after fix-up, what's it sell for?
That I just don't know yet. I'm just in the beginning stages of getting into this, but I didn't know if...
What would be your guess? What makes you ask the question?
Get maybe 200. If I sold it to the tenants without doing anything, just as is, maybe 160.
Oh, so almost 40.
So I'm not sure what would require me to fix it up to to get to that.
Yeah, we're losing you. You're cutting in and out. But so if you were going to sell it as is, you'd sell it for 160. If you fixed it up, you'd sell it for 200. If you were going to, and we're guessing because you haven't run all the numbers out to exact, but you're thinking you'd spend like $10,000 and go over there and paint it or something.
I'm aware of.
I'm losing you. You're cutting in and out. Try one more time.
Carpet, new paint. It's hard to say.
Yeah, you could really easily not make that much extra on this. So, I mean, I don't see a problem offering it to the new tenant, but I'm going to try, or the current tenant first, before you just straight up move them.
Okay. Would you still offer it for 160 though, Dave?
No, I think I would just ask them if they have an interest in it, and then put a price on it.
Yeah,
and let's go into it from there.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to eventually get an appraisal on it and kind of go from there, and then do some comparables, with a local provider, and kind of see what to maximize it for. But I didn't know generically it's better to try to go in and fix it up, or if I would spend $20,000, if I'd only get $20,000 more, would that even be worth the time and effort?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it is. It sounds like you're probably better to roll it, but maybe 160 over 200 is not the actual spread. It might be 70 over 200 or whatever. I don't know. Let's talk to the tenant, see if we can get it moved that way. If they move out, and in order to get it market ready, you got to do some work for it. That's a different story. You're probably going to have to do that to get it to move, unless you're in a white hot market of some kind there.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like the idea, though, offering it to the tenant, Dave. And me personally, I would probably say, hey, whatever that is, I will give it to them and say, hey, listen, I'll take 2% off and cover your closing costs to call it a deal. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Give some kind of a incentive to get them in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have a real estate commission on it. You don't have a lot of stuff on it then at that point. So, and it's also a kind thing to do is rather than just give them eviction notice, it's over. Just say, we're moving you out. Oh, wait a minute. We're going to give you the opportunity to buy it, and if you don't want to buy it, then we move you out. That has a little different flavor on the transaction.
Yeah, especially after 3 years. I think they like that house.
Yeah, that's true. If they can afford to buy it, and there may be reasons that they're renting. You never know. Yeah. Carlos is in San Antonio. Hey, Carlos. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve.
My call.
Sure.
Yeah, and Anthony, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking.
Great. Hey, so we were approached recently, my wife and I, by a company that wanted to operate us to refi our home. Right now, we're at a 3.75% APR, and they're offering us a 2.5 for fixed rate for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing: they're offering a no closing costs. And originally, when I heard that, I was very, intrigued, and I wanted to know if there's anything that you guys have heard, if that's kind of a common practice, or if there's anything hidden that I should be looking out for.
Is this an FHA loan?
No.
Yeah, 15-year fix.
Well, that's a great deal. Yeah. So I don't know how they're doing this, where they're picking up the closing costs, because somebody's going to pay the closing costs somewhere.
Are there any fees? I know some people will leave with no closing costs, but there could be.
Is there a bunch of points involved or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at first I was very, it sounded kind of iffy, but I mean, if there's no closing costs, then why not, right?
How long have you been in the house, Carlos?
5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you going to be there a while?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's just run the deal to ground and figure out what's wrong with it, because it smells bad.
Yeah.
And let's find out why. How is it you're offering a 2.5% rate, which is basically a street rate with closing costs, only they're going to have no closing costs. Where are you picking up the closing costs? I want to know where that's coming from, how that's being covered. And if you keep getting a bad feeling off of it, just run just because of the bad feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't mind running at the ground and asking some questions. You may learn something. You can also call Churchill Mortgage, the folks that we've endorsed for 20 plus years here on the air, and they can walk you through exactly what they can do, and that'll give you a comparison in the situation. But I'm not aware of rates being low enough that a 2.5% rate would warrant a free closing cost. That doesn't make sense. Now, FHA has a streamlined product, but it would be a little bit above market, and the closing costs are just eaten up in the higher rate is what it amounts to, because it's slightly above market. And you can just refi your, just with the stroke of a pen, you can refi an FHA, but that's not true on a Fannie Mae. So I guess I'd dig into it and learn, try to figure out what they're doing and what the angle on it is. It's always good to get new information.
Absolutely. That sounds a little interesting to me. I'm thinking, Dave, like,
if you could get a 2.5 at 15, I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. But I also want to make sure I don't get to the closing table and have some kind of problem.
Right. Yeah.
Or have signed into something I didn't realize I was signing into, or whatever. Make sure you know the whole picture. That's the big deal.
It's a good savings, though. A whole % down.
Yeah. This is the Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Spencer in Utah. I'm a prospective law student, and I am torn between two schools. One is more well-known, but is also more expensive. The other is less recognizable, but they have offered me a full tuition scholarship. Does the name of the school help significantly and prove to be the investment that college admins tout to be? No, absolutely not. Listen, you guys, I went into my doctor's office actually just the other week, Dave, and for the first time in probably 36 years of me living, I asked them what school they go to. And when my doctor said the school, I said, hey, does it matter? Like if a kid came in here today and said, hey, does going to this school over that school, is that better? The doctor said no. He said what makes a doctor is a doctor willing to learn while he's in school, and is he willing to submit himself to other doctors to learn even more? So my answer is
a continual life of learning.
Exactly.
And growing.
And
the same is true of law school.
Yes. So that's so.
Can you pass the bar after you graduate?
Yep.
Did you get enough knowledge to pass the bar?
Yep.
And do you have enough knowledge to function as an attorney?
That's it.
And if you have that, in 99% of the cases, where you went to school doesn't matter.
Yep.
I have 10 attorneys or so in my life, sadly.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you where a single one of them went to school.
You didn't ask at all?
No.
Huh.
We have trademark attorneys, we have estate planning attorneys, we have tax attorneys, we have staff attorneys, folks on team here.
Yep.
Actually, I was interviewing them, so I do find out where they're going to school before I hire them.
Yeah.
But I didn't hire them because of where they went to school.
Yeah.
To be the Ramsey Solutions, chief counsel and so forth. And so, real estate attorneys don't know where they went to school.
Yep.
So it just, now there's a handful of prestigious jobs that are high-end corporate things or high-end law firms that care tremendously about where you went to school, but it's only because of the prestige.
Yes.
And so you can go to law school free. Spencer, go free.
Go free. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Shane is with us in New York City with a similar question. Hey, Shane, how are you?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Great.
Good.
How can we help?
All right. I wanted to be speaking to you guys otherwise.
Okay, you're going to speak directly into your phone. It's muffled.
Oh, sorry about that. Is it better now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So last year, I was going to a university, which my parents took out a loan for about, it was one of the Parent Plus loans. They took it out for about $22,000. And I made a decision to change the schools to a cheaper school. And I was making the payments myself to that school because I did not want to go into debt. Unfortunately, my job had a little issue, and I'm out of the job for about 2 months now, but I'm coming back next month. So in order to cover the rest of the year, I ended up taking out a loan to cover the rest of the school year for $5,500. That was the loan I took out. And the thing is, though, is that personally speaking, I would not even go to school. I have very traditional parents who say I must go to school as long as I live under their household, that type of rule. And only because I'm not sure what I really want to do yet in life. So I don't see the point of spending money to do something I don't even know what I want to do yet.
What are you studying?
Finance.
And you're in your second year?
Yes.
Okay, and now you're at a less expensive school than the first year?
Yes.
Okay. And you're how old?
I'm 19.
Okay.
And you're saying that you don't know if you want to do this, if you want to be in the finance world when you graduate college?
Yes, because my heart has been set out for real estate for the past 3 years.
Okay.
But my parents, again, under their household, they want me to do something that makes me go to a school and something that they think will pay a lot.
Okay.
And and I know for a fact you don't really need a degree to become a real estate agent, but they want me to get a finance degree or a computer degree, one of the two.
So, respectfully saying, I do not believe it is right for the parent to tell their son or daughter, their child, what to do with their life. I don't see there's a problem with your parents saying, hey, if you live up underneath this house, you have to abide by these rules. That's respectful. That's their house. But I think right now you have to make a decision for yourself. What do you want to do at the age that you're at? If you're saying, hey, I want to be in real estate. I've never done real estate. Dave can speak into that, but I know it's a while before you generate any income. I do believe some form of education is important for whatever you're going to do. But I think right now, especially taking out money, no, you need to stop that process. But you do need to be working if you're going to quit college. But I think most importantly, man, you need to spend some time and identify what it is that you really want to do. Not just real estate, but even long term. If that is real estate for the next 20, 30 years, okay, cool. But I think you need to go out there and experience life a little bit. Maybe get you a solid job that can provide, that you can move into your own apartment, maybe with some roommates, spend a year to just dib and dab out there on different things. Once you identify what that is, then what our career expert here, Ken Coleman, says, then figure out what does it take to get to that. But right now, I would say pause. Because if you're saying you're going to school and you're borrowing money, you're paying for something that you really don't even really want to do, pause. But then when you pause, you got to have a game plan because now your parents won't allow you to stay there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How old did you say you are?
Oh, I'm 19, sir.
Okay. Well, here's something to consider. How many 35, 45, and 55-year-olds buy a house from a 19-year-old real estate agent?
That's very true. Not many.
That's going to be a hard road.
Yeah.
It can be done. I actually did it, but it was a hard road. I mean, I had my Magnum PI mustache and my disco suit on, and I'm out there trying to sell houses at 18 years old, 19 years old. I sold a few, but it's just because I worked my butt off, and and I was bold and everything else. But it's a very difficult trek to start residential real estate at 19 years old. It can be done. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I do want you to know that that's a little different than you rolling in there at 29.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of credibility and who you're dealing with and how you get started and all that. So what I would think is that maybe we address a couple of other things, and let's take a step back. I'm not disagreeing with Anthony. I'm adding to it. Number one, we're both saying no more debt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for school. That's silly. But this school that you're in now is affordable. You just got to get 6 jobs and be able to pay your way through. That's what it amounts to. And so that's just what's necessary. And so you're going to pay your way through. Now that's step one. Then step two is, do you want to continue to study finance? I got a degree in finance with a specialization in real estate. That was what my degree was in. And that's how I end up, someday, 1,000 years later, sitting here. But, and it served me well. The academic, the underpinning of learning statistics, learning marketing, learning accounting, the things you learn to do finance those are good classes that are very usable in almost any business situation. And so whether you're the owner of a small business, whether you're in real estate, whether you own a company that does X, Y, or Z, or whether you go to work for somebody that in almost any industry, they're going to need people that know those things. So I don't mind you continuing with a finance degree as long as you pay cash for it, or switching degree fields and pay cash and stay at home. But you're going to get 6 jobs to do that, and you're going to rethink this. Right now, you just feel like you're being pushed around by everybody involved, and you're just being, feels random, and you need to get the randomness out of it.
Absolutely.
This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Rachel's with us. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thanks.
So, how much did you pay off?
I paid off myself about $29,000.
Good for you. Where are you from? Where do you live?
From Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Oh, fun. Well, cool. And how long did it take you to pay off $29,000?
It took me about a year, but I have to tell you, before that, I was married, and we had $96,000 in debt, and we paid that off we paid most of it off, all but the $29,000 in 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then the divorce happened, and then the rest I paid off myself.
Oh, okay. Ouch. All right. So your range of income during this 12 months when you paid off the $29,000 was what?
55 to 62.
Okay, cool. What do you do for a living?
I'm an accountant.
All right. Fun. How long were you married?
10 years.
Okay. So not only you got the heartbreak, you got $30,000 worth of debt to deal with, huh?
Yeah. He walked away debt-free, but I was stuck with my student loans.
Oh, they were student loans. Okay. So Sally Mae never goes away until you evict her.
That's right.
The moral of the story is the woman is persistent. She is a problem child.
Ooh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what made you decide to tear into this like this and get this paid off?
Well, 3.5 years ago, my brother, who's here, and his wife, Jessica, Matt and Jessica, gave me your book, The Total Money Makeover. I read it in about 2 days and told my husband, we've got to do this.
And you started working on it together, but the marriage failed for other reasons, apparently.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry you've been through all that.
Oh, it's okay.
It's no fun at all. No. But you're free.
Exactly. Yes.
Marriage free and debt free.
That's right.
It's good. Wow. Congratulations. How's it feel?
it feels amazing. I hear my friends talk about credit cards, and it's like, I forgot what those were.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Now, I know 1 year, but was there anything major, any difficult that last year paying off this $29,000?
It was actually almost easier to do it myself.
Thought so. I was about to say, it seemed like the hard part was with your ex-husband. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So what's next? I got to ask. I mean, you're debt-free, no marriage. I mean, hopefully, we got a better husband coming down the road, but anything else?
I wanted to tell you that I was so confident and confident in myself when I got this done. The first thing I bought was swimming lessons for myself. I never learned how to swim. I've been deathly afraid of water my whole life.
Wow.
And I learned after my second lesson, and I don't know, that confidence just kind of went through to that. Yeah.
She's a swimmer.
There's a whole new you here.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I'm 36.
And taking on new adventures like swimming.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive, because I grew up in the water, so I've had people on our boat and things that were, they would get in the water and they were absolutely terrified.
That was me.
But he got over it though, and he learned to water ski. We taught him to ski.
Yeah.
And those floaties look real good on his arm.
They really do. I have no shame in my game. I'm scared of snakes out there in the lake, Dave.
Yeah, we told him all kind of legends about snakes, and he really had trouble.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Well, congratulations. You have gone through a lot, kiddo, and you've turned your life, man, upside down and straightened it out.
Yeah.
Well, transformation, big time. So proud of you. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I think people need to find their motivation, what motivates them. For me, there was a point, and actually, Anthony, I met you at a conference.
You did?
I did,
Okay.
and I told you I was getting divorced. I was losing my job. My job was being outsourced. I had to refinance my house. I didn't know if I'd be able to stay in my house on my income. But your conference showed up on Facebook. I went with my sister-in-law, and we went to the conference, and I think that kind of fired me up, and I was ready to continue. Once the divorce was final, I unpaused everything, and I went.
Took off and go.
Yeah, that's right.
Get that fresh start and go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Very, very, very well done. Excellent job. It's impressive.
Very impressive. $29,000 in 1 year.
And learn to swim.
Teach me some lessons next time.
That's a big deal. All right. Well, we've got a copy of Rachel Cruz's our latest best-selling book with her, which is called Know Yourself, Know Your Money. And we appreciate you coming by and doing this. And congratulations.
Thank you.
So proud of you. I know your family's proud of you. That's why they came along to support. All good. Showing up. Very good stuff. All right. It is Rachel. And $29,000 paid off in 12 months, making 55 to 62. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
1, 2, 3. We're debt-free!
Well done. Very well done.
That's awesome.
It is interesting that that as you learn, when you start controlling sections of your life, it gives you incredible confidence to control other sections of your life and to try things.
Yeah.
And then at 36 years old, with terrified of water, you can learn to swim.
Yeah.
That is the first time I've heard that particular story tied to being debt-free.
Was that a unique story for you? You're 25
But
years
the idea that people do something new because they have confidence, or they are able to do things with their newfound discipline.
Yes.
A lot of people lose weight.
Yes.
At the same time, they're getting out of debt. And it's not because they're starving to death. It's because they're disciplined of getting out of debt. They're disciplined. I'm going to control this area of my life. Well, I can control this area of my life.
Yep.
I can control that area of my life.
Yep.
And so lots of marriages are transformed. Lots of people take on, start new businesses. All kinds of new things happen once you start getting the confidence from that discipline.
Yes, sir.
It's very powerful stuff. Very well done. Very well done. Well, a recent survey said that over 64% of Americans changed their spending habits in 2020. Well, I guess 64%. Where were the rest of them? Everybody changed their spending habits in 2020 one way or another. If you plan to have a pandemic-proof budget, you can protect from another year of impulse buying and spending more than you make. Reset your money habits by getting the Ramsey proven, easy-to-use cash management systems. We've got the starter envelope system for a limited time. You can get the famous starter envelopes for only $5. If you're constantly going overboard on a certain category, you cannot beat this. $5. Go to daveramsey.com/store, and you can see those there for $5. You'll also see Anthony O'Neill's book, Debt-Free Degree, which is number one best-selling book as well, national bestseller on how to go to college and not have any debt, which is doable.
It's definitely doable. Dave, I read an article this morning, and it said that 3% of people in the ages of 60 to 67 who are retired are living their dreams, that the other 97% are not. That once you retire, only 3% of the people are actually living their dreams. And the article went on to say the other 97 is because of debt.
Yeah, meaning they're able to financially.
Yes.
What it amounts to.
Yes.
They're financially. Some people call that financial independence. I don't think you ever really get independent. You're always going to be interdependent with other people. That's the way life is designed to be. That's a good thing. So I never have liked that phrase much. But the idea that I've got enough money that I don't have to worry.
Right.
And I've got to, I can pay the lights. I can pay the stupid property taxes.
Right.
I can put food on the table. We can do some travel.
Exactly.
I can, get a new pair of blue jeans.
Live in peace.
And put gas in the car.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That makes a difference. And that's what you're looking for, is the ability. You're prosperous when you have the money to do God's will in your life.
Yes, sir.
Which begins with taking care of the basic necessities, certainly, and you don't have to worry. But yeah, you're right. 97% of people still have worries.
Still major worries. One of them are, and I was shocked, about 13% of them are still worrying about their student loans. I'm like in the 60s.
Ooh.
Dave, that was scary.
That's sobering.
Yes.
They need to stop making these student loans. They need to stop it.
Well,
you need to let your congressman know.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. It's out of control.
Especially at that age.
Well, period.
Yeah.
You just need to stop it.
Yeah.
No one goes, that's a blessing. It's just, this is the Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. I've heard countless stories from people who've lost a loved one and then were totally shocked by their will. Your final wishes should not be a surprise, people. When you leave your family in the dark, you're setting them up for huge problems. Talk to them about your will. Talk about your end-of-life plans. In the How to Talk About Your Legacy guide, we'll help you have the right conversations before and after making a will. This guide will teach you how to plan your conversations, get on the same page with your spouse, ask people to be your executor, your kid's guardian, your power of attorney, tell the rest of the family what's in the will. This is a free guide, How to Talk About Your Legacy. The How to Talk About Your Legacy guide, completely free. If you want it, text the word legacy to 33789. Text legacy to 33789. Kara is in Providence, Rhode Island. Hi, Kara. How are you?
Hi, Dave and Anthony. I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So, two asides. First aside is we have made literally every financial mistake you have ever told anyone not to do. And
me too.
And the second aside is over the last few years, I have checked your book out of the library probably at least 10 times. 2020 came. I started going back to church. I checked your book out of the library at the end of the year, and you know what? We got through baby step 1. We're on baby step 2, but here it is. We are 2 working parents. We work out of the house. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. My husband works as many Saturdays, but Monday through Friday, and as many Saturdays. And we've got 2 little kids. They are in daycare, and we have, aside from not including our actual mortgage, we have $140,000 worth of debt, and I am tracking every penny. I have adjusted our grocery budget. Unfortunately, our kids have to be in a subpar daycare situation because we just can't afford for them to be in a better situation. But
what's your household income?
I bring in about 40, and he brings in about 60, sometimes a little more. He works in construction. I work in, ironically, banking. And
what is the nature of the $140,000 worth of debt?
Oh, like I said, it's everything. It's student loans. It's consolidated credit cards. It's a fleece that was turned into a car loan because I did the math out and we just didn't have any other way to go at that point in time. It's the PMI for our home. It's just a conglomeration of all of the stuff you're not supposed to do.
Your PMI is in the 140?
Yeah, because it was the 20% down. So I don't consider that our mortgage. Our mortgage is $233, and that 1%, the 20% down is part of an FHA loan. We could borrow both, nothing down. So that $8,000 is in that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So how much do you owe on your car?
Because otherwise, I owe $19, even though it's worth $12, and then his truck is $4,000. So we're doing the debt snowball. We're stocking everything we can. I used all of our tax return. All of the stimulus money went to debt. So that was a nice, $5,000 we could throw. But basically, we're probably looking at 7 to 10 years left of at least just getting this stuff down. And I'm just wondering, this is going to be a long game. I know it is, but we're dedicated to it. We're doing what we can. I just, words of advice, anything you might suggest. My dad said that he had an idea of, as far as the lease where the 19 owed on the 12 worth, he said I could probably get a loan for a smaller rate, pay that off, and then because I need a vehicle, we both work, and I pick up our kids and bring them to daycare. We both need vehicles. He said, maybe get a loan at a lower rate, pay off the vehicle, sell it, and get something cheaper. There's so many things that I'm trying to do, and I'm throwing every extra $5 I can at our debt, and we're going, but I respect
How long have you been
guys
married?
so much. We have been together for 6 years. We've been officially married for a year. We couldn't afford to even have a nice wedding, but you know what?
So you've been doing. All right, stop. Okay, I've done a lot of stupid stuff with my money. You said you opened the conversation and said you've done every dumb thing, right? And you've done 6 years worth of mistakes. You've been working on turning this ship around for a month and a half, 2 months.
Since December.
No, up until this calendar year, you didn't really work on it. You read out the book, but you weren't really doing anything. You've gotten serious in the last 30 to 60 days.
Yeah, now I'm feeling just completely overwhelmed with the mess.
Yeah, it's not going to take as long as you think it's going to take. Okay, it takes a little while to get started, number one, and then number two, you're going to get some momentum, but it's 6 years worth of mistakes. They're not going to go away in 6 months.
No, I know that.
But it's not 10 years either. It's $140,000. That's $14,000 a year that you're going to pay off in debt, making $100,000. That's absurd. Of course you're not going to do that. And so $30,000 a year in debt reduction would get you out in 5 years. And you're going to do more than that. But you just haven't found it all yet, and because you're just getting started. And you're just, but I don't know what math you're running, but you're not going to pay off $14,000 a year making $100,000. You're going to do a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, my concern is our mortgage is $1,640. A daycare is anywhere from $1,400 to $1,800 a month.
I know.
Plus all of our other debts. So it's just like I said. I'm literally I run our
your mortgage is $18,000.
Yeah.
A year out of $100,000.
Yep.
How big a tax refund did you? How big a tax refund did you get?
I got about I think it was just under $3,000. Sorry.
Okay. So that's $250 a month. That's $250 a month too much coming out of your check. Have you adjusted your W-2s yet?
I don't think he has not yet. No. Okay. I know he hasn't.
Okay. Somebody needs to adjust your W-2.
Yeah.
But both of you together or whatever by about $250 a month. That's going to help a little. Getting rid of your car is going to help a little.
And
getting you into a hoopty.
And someone needs to get an extra job, Dave.
Yeah, and he's going to be working. He works construction. That's good news. He knows how to fix stuff, and so he's going to be fixing stuff a bunch on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. You guys are going to be working 80 hours a week.
Absolutely.
It's time.
Thank you.
It's time. You guys have been a slave to this stuff long enough. Yeah. You're going to have to rise up and bust it in the nose. And you've just begun. I know you can do it. I've seen people exactly where you are do this.
Yes.
Many, many thousands of times over the decades I've been doing this. But what I do know is that your sense of being overwhelmed, your sense of being stuck, your sense of this is going to take forever, comes from the fact that the math does not lay out perfectly in front of you right now to where you can see everything easily. Mm-hmm. And if you're not careful, you're going to say, well, it's not. I just can't do this.
Yeah. And
you're going to walk away. You can do this, but you're going to have to continue to fight, scratch, claw, do anything you can do to get your income up and your out go down. Yeah. And you're going to sell stuff, sell so much stuff. The kids think they're next. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you've got to do, a whole bunch of moves you've got to make.
And stop coming up with excuses. Start coming up with solutions. Yeah. Sit down with your husband and say, all right, babe, we have 5 years to make this happen. What do we need to do to make that happen within the next 5 years?
Yeah. We're going to help you. I'm going to put you through Ramsey Plus. That puts you through Financial Peace University, puts you in the premium version of Every Dollar. I'm going to pay for it for a year. You and your husband get in front of those videos, get in those communities, talk to those coaches. Those folks, our team will walk with you. We will show you how to do this. You can do this, but it's going to be very hard. It's going to be worth it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Did you know you can listen to The Ramsey Show on your smart speaker? Just tell Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri to play The Ramsey Show podcast. Check out all Ramsey Network shows on your smart speaker today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Don's with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Don, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Mr. Dave, Mr. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Me as well. Mr. Dave, I've got a question. I'm 63 years old. I've got about $360,000, and I had it in annuity that I wasn't told the truth about this annuity, and I found out about a year and a half ago. And so it kind of upset me, and I was aggravated with this guy, and so I just got out. I rolled the money over into an IRA, and finally, I found a bank that would give me 3.15% interest on that money, locked for 5 years. And that's what I've done with it because I don't know a whole lot about investing. And I was wondering what your thought on that is. Could that money be making me more than, is that a good thing that I've got it where I've got it locked at 3.15%, or should I think now differently about going into mutual funds or things like that?
Well, the good news is you got into something that is predictable and that you completely understand and have peace with.
Right.
That's good news, and that's all. That part of your move is a good move. Could you have done better? Yeah, you probably could do better. I don't have my money tied up that way, and I'm not some kind of genius. I just so what I would tell you to do is to begin meeting with one of our SmartVestor pros and learning about mutual funds. My personal, I'm 60, so we're very similar in age. My personal 401k, IRAs, and that kind of stuff are invested in mutual funds. They're invested across 4 types: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. Now, what you want to do is learn from, and I had the similar experience to what you had, but mine was 40 years ago to getting in with a guy. And what I learned from that is that it is my job to understand it or not move the money. You don't count on the guy. You count on you. You're the guy. And so you spend time with a SmartVestor Pro learning about these mutual funds, how they work, what the history on them is, and therefore you can kind of say, well, I kind of think based on that history, that gives me comfort to move some of this $360,000 over there, and you can do an IRA rollover and not have any taxes involved when you're ready to do it. There is no rush.
Right.
But let's just pretend that you make 10% on $360,000. That's $36,000, or you make 5%. That's $18,000. So we're having a $20,000 a year discussion, roughly $2,000 a month discussion here.
Right. Right.
That's worth doing a little research over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I'm kind of like you. I like bricks and mortar and real estate, and I've owned quite a bit of real estate, apartment buildings, and I don't know. I've always thought about having plan A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And I've had those probably for 30 years. They're paid for. I'm completely out of debt. I've got a nice, real nice $265,000 home that's bought and paid for.
So you're easily a millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah, well done.
And I'm retired with 30 years of retirement, and I've pretty much done what you talk about my whole life. Just old school saving and staying out of debt and paying my way as I go.
Yeah. Well, what I'm prescribing here is not anything really fancy. It's just that it's new in your situation. And so if I'm you, I'm thinking I might be losing $20,000 a year based on what Dave's saying. So I should investigate moving this sometime in the next 12 months and just go on a journey of learning. And don't go over there and meet with some guy and move the money the first day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go over there and learn.
I don't know. That's probably what I done too soon when I started out on the first in annuity. Yeah. And then I found out 8 years later that it was just a horrible thing. Yeah. And so I just pulled it and put it in at 3.15 because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm like you. I believe in if you don't know what you're doing, do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, good information. And
just hit SmartVestor Pro at DaveRamsey.com. It'll drop down a box. You can pick the one in your area that you like. They don't work for us. We do endorse them. And one of the things they have to do to get our endorsement is they have to have that heart of a teacher.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to mind sitting with you, and they're not going to pressure you. And if you feel skunky with them, or if you feel a little slimy, get out of there. You shouldn't. We've vetted them pretty heavily, but you need to be comfortable, and you've been burnt once, and so it's okay to go in there with your shields up. And I'm not moving a dime until I understand it.
Yes, absolutely.
And Anthony, that's the thing. There's something with something we're not comfortable with or we don't know about, we all want someone else to take care of it.
We sure do. That's a comfortable thing. We're not willing to be uncomfortable to grow.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about areas in my life that are that way. I mean, I think about, I don't understand this, so would you just take care of it for me?
No.
And, I'll give you an example of that. Freaking taxes. It's right now, it's tax time. So I got this massive, constant meetings just trying to get the dadgum IRS settled and all this stuff and get them all lined up in this thing the size of a phone book that we end up filing and all this stuff. And I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it makes me mad.
Yeah.
How much I pay in taxes. It's my money. I earned it. It feels like theft. And so I'm mad the whole time. And on top of that, it's intimidating as crud.
It is.
And so I have to force myself to meet with these guys who are so smart and say, okay, I don't understand.
And do you ask a lot of questions in there, Dave?
Oh, God, yes. They hate me.
Do you leave feeling more knowledgeable, though?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not going to sign it until I at least understand the basics.
Yes, sir.
Because guess who the IRS is going to come knock on the door?
You.
Not the guy.
Right.
They're going to come see old Dave.
Yep.
So I want to know enough. Now, do I understand every little thing? No, but, I mean, here's the big thing. Tell me how that worked. What is this? How's that work? I don't understand. And then next year they have to tell me again because I don't always keep it. I don't always store that information well in my brain.
Right.
But that's a similar thing for me, just being transparent.
Yeah.
That I hate it. I'm mad about it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's my responsibility, and if I don't take the responsibility and learn enough about it, I get burned.
But the good thing about it, though, Dave, is you have tax people in your corner who are willing to teach you along the process.
Yeah, and if you can't be my financial anything unless you have the heart of a teacher.
Yeah.
And so bless his heart, he earns his money.
Especially with Dave Ramsey and all.
Man, a hard thing. This is the Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Julie dropped by from Kansas City with a question. Hey, Julie, what's up?
Hi. Thank you for having me. I have 2 children, a son that's 28 and a daughter that's 19. And with your guidance, I'm going to have them graduating debt-free from college in just a couple short years. So
congrats.
Thank you for that. My son has cystic fibrosis. He's 28, and cystic fibrosis is a terminal disease, which makes him uninsurable.
Sure.
So he's healthy, and he's working now in his career, but is married and has a 1-year-old son. So my question is, I will be self-insured in about 5 years. And so my question is, would I continue with my life insurance in order to help support his medical needs later in his life that we're expecting for his bills?
You're self-insured. So what will your net worth be?
Well, currently it's about $500,000, and I'm at 53. So I'm expecting, hopefully, to be a millionaire by then.
Yeah.
Or a little more.
Yeah.
And I do have him. I've educated him on your system, and he's following it fairly well. He has a house now, and he's working towards his own goals. So I'm more concerned about the health concerns, the medical bills later on as he ages.
Well, I no, I would not get additional life insurance on you to take care of his medical bills were you to pass. You've got a good net worth. What I would do is consider allocating a larger portion of your estate to him rather than the other child.
Okay, and I've actually already got my will established. I've talked to them both, and I have 45% to both of them, and then with the additional 10% allocated to specifically a trust fund for his medical that's under his wife's name.
There you go. Okay. And that should take care of him, right?
I believe it will.
So you've already done that.
I've already done that, yes.
So how is he not taken care of if you pass away then?
Well, I wanted to ask the question. I was here, and I've been wanting to ask the question.
No, I'm not being combative.
No,
I'm just wondering. It sounds like you've done it. Great job.
Okay,
I mean,
yay.
yeah, you did. You're like 8 steps ahead of me. You've already executed what I dreamed up. That's excellent. So,
awesome.
yeah, that's all you did was say we're going to allocate 10% of my net worth additional to take care of the medical bills, and you've done some calculations that give you an estimate that thinks that that's going to take care of it. I don't know why you would need more. It sounds like you did your job, touchdown.
Okay.
And then some.
Awesome.
You've done a wonderful, wonderful job. What do you do for a living?
I'm currently a staff accountant. I also have a second job at Home Depot to help pay off my house. I just finished my daughter's college fund just the other day. She's a sophomore in college, and she has a scholarship. And with her dad's help and my help and planning, then we have her set on a path.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to kind of let you know that she told me one day, she says, Dave's like my stepdad. so
the evil stepdad.
The evil stepdad.
Add evil in there, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Well, way to go. Very, very well done. I mean, you've worked this thing all the way through. Everybody's got a game plan. Very, very well executed. You're a rock star. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and appreciate the confidence. I just wanted to have that answer. I thought I did, but...
I think you've already covered him. Yeah. I think he's done.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's powerful.
That's very powerful. She already had it in place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Now, those of you that have a special needs child often ask us about a special needs trust. The only difference in that and minor children, for minor children that have special needs, or children that are of adult age, the only difference is, like when my kids were little, we had a family trust that would have been formed upon our death to take care of them until they reach adulthood. And then the money would be handed over to them. The only difference in that and a special needs trust with your will is the money goes into the special needs trust, and it takes care of the special needs person out of the income created for the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Instead of just till they're 18 or 21 and then the money's turned over to them. It's never turned over to them. There's an income created for life.
Yes.
It's like, in a sense, that you would, in a college or university situation, they call it an endowment, where you give enough money that each year it creates a scholarship off of the income that the money creates. And that's, in a sense, what you're doing. And you fund that special needs trust with assets, or until you've got assets, you fund it with some good term life insurance. But like in Julie's case, she's built up enough assets already to fund the estate plan.
Exactly.
And so this is a similar situation, except cystic fibrosis is not special needs. It's just a medical condition with a tough prognosis. So, but that's, she's done a wonderful job of thinking through it, planning through it. Very courageous in the way she's addressed this. Very well done.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, here at Ramsey Solutions, we want to transform so many lives that disruption spreads like wildfire across our country. Not only in financial, but also in mental health, in marriage, in career, in leadership. Imagine a world where it's weird to have a student loan. Imagine a world where the majority of people pay cash for their cars, where the credit card is the cigarette of the financial world. Used to be cool, but not anymore, baby. Where working a job you love and getting paid more than you've ever been paid in your life because of King Coleman is normal. Where your relationships and your boundaries are functioning the way they're supposed to because of Dr. John Deloney, and so on. Certainly going to school debt-free, you're paying off your student loans and getting rid of Sally Mae because of Anthony O'Neill.
Yeah.
Imagine being part of causing that level of disruption through the whole country with the work that you're doing every day. That's why we have 1,000 people here at our company. We're creating digital products, services. We help transform people's lives with the goal of disrupting the toxic culture in America. And you have to admit, America has issues. If you want to join us on this crusade, we're currently on the hunt for software engineers, Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, front-end technologies. If you're a UX designer, SEO, content marketing specialist, a creative, great in sales or admin, we've got about 300 positions we're going to fill in this calendar year. So to find out about our available jobs, we won Best Place to Work according to Inc. magazine last year. Text Work That Matters to 33789 or click the Dave's Hiring tab on the front page of DaveRamsey.com. Text Work That Matters to 33789. You can get a full list of everything that's going on there. Good stuff, good times. Claudia is in Dallas. Hey, Claudia, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me, Dave. Hello, AO. Hope you guys are doing well.
Great. How can we help?
So I'm a single mom, recently divorced with two wonderful children. We have really worked our butts off this last year to get out of the divorce debt and through step 4 in a year.
Wow.
And it's been a fight, but the kids have been on board and we've had excellent support. And so we're actually setting up their 529s this week. So we'll be through step 5 this week. I'm really grateful, really excited.
Cool.
So we were, we had in our goal, really excited about getting our dream home.
Who's we? You got divorced. Who's we?
Oh, me, the kids and I.
Oh, okay. You're sending them off to the salt mines every day. Get some work out of them. Okay.
Man, she love her kids. Let's go.
well, they cut back on snacks. So
okay, there we go. That's her contribution. All right.
Yeah. We had our dream home in mind, and so we've been, focused on that. We found a home that we like. It's within our budget. I've signed the contract, done the inspection and appraisal, and everything is looking good so far. But it's not our dream home. And I'm thinking that if we wait and, just keep chugging along at this and save for another year, we could have that dream home. And so I'm wondering, if you were me, would you?
I would wait. If you can do it, if you can get a better place in 1 year,
yep,
I'd put it off 1 year.
Absolutely. No questions asked. Wait.
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. John and Ashley are on the phone. If I can figure out how to do it, there it is. John and Ashley are on the phone in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to tell us about their debt-free journey. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How much have you guys paid off?
We did $63,000 in 30 months.
Good for you. Wow. Excellent.
A lot of money.
Over $2,000 a month for 2.5 years. What was your range of income during that time?
We started out just over 90 and then ended at 105 take home.
Excellent. Way to go, you guys.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job.
Lots of envelopes. Lots of crinkly envelopes in our pockets.
I bet. What kind of debt was the $63,000?
We were pretty normal. So we had a 401k loan, unfortunately, and then we had credit cards, we had student loans, we had an instrument, we had car debt,
medical bills.
You name it.
Yeah, you were like normal people.
Very normal people.
Normal.
So what happened 2.5 years ago? What was the wake-up call?
Well, we had we have two older kids. We have a 15 and a 17-year-old, and then my wife and I had twins, And about 2.5 years ago, we were putting them in daycare, and we were starting to really get a little tight overall on our budget. And we had more money, we had more month than money. And so we sat down and we looked at each other, and Ashley said to me, what would happen if your student loan didn't exist and we could use that money to pay bills? Well, we hadn't done your plan yet. And I said, there's a guy I know who talks just like you were talking to me, and my light bulb went off. And so I took out I had an old Financial Peace book, and I said, hey, let's start this program, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Long history.
Yeah, well.
We went back and forth, Dave. We had to get on board to do this because that's all it took. It had to be a team effort. So we had Saturday morning finance meetings that we argued over. We put up an Excel spreadsheet on the TV. Our older kids kept looking at us and saying, we're never going into debt after this. After this conversation, I'm not doing that.
I love it.
That's fabulous, you guys. Well done.
I love it.
Wow. How's it feel now that you're free?
It's unbelievable. It's still surreal. We finished baby step 2, and now we've actually finished baby step 3, and it's still just the amount of focus that we have as a family, and our dreams are right in front of us, and it's just so exciting. So, we can't thank you enough, Dave. With your program, we were able to just change our lives. So thank you so much.
And it's bled into so many other things. Like, it's financial freedom, but along the way, we learned how to communicate effectively as a couple. We learned about money management, putting every dollar with its name. You have to do the envelope system to be successful. And then we merged over to Every Dollar app, and that was amazing to guide our conversations on Saturday mornings. And so when we just got into that, I really feel now it's trickled into our planning processes at work, like just having the discipline to go through the program. We called you Uncle Dave all the time. We'd be like, well, what would Uncle Dave say about this? Yeah, he wouldn't agree, so we're not doing that. And it really has honestly changed our lives.
So other than the hard arguments that you all had every Saturday morning, what would you say was one of the most difficult things throughout this journey?
For me, it was the single focus, like the single task focus. So when the process tells you you need to stop investing, you need to do things that may not make sense to you, but make sense to the plan. And so focusing on the single task accomplishments and making sure that it makes sense to Dave and not sense to you was really the thing that I learned, because, I got myself into this mess, and I needed somebody else. We needed somebody else to get us out. So that was the big revelation, I think, for me.
I think the biggest thing, too, is finding that our value isn't in the stuff that we buy. Our value is not placed in that. So why were we buying things? Like, what were we searching out and running down a rabbit hole and just continually purchasing things for no reason, because that's not where our value lies. And so we learned that. We also learned that John loves to spend, and he's reined that in.
We already did.
But we've been what we're ultimately excited about is being incredibly generous, because we have freed up funds where we can now start being incredibly generous.
Now, you all have 4 kids I'm seeing here on the screen, and it looks like a beautiful family. I'm curious, throughout this process, how was that relationship, or how was your kids' involvement in this process? I know you said that they want to avoid debt, but how did you all incorporate them as parents, educating them along this journey?
Yeah, it was really great because they were part of the envelope system with us. So they would see me pull out that cash. I would put the envelopes in with them. They would go to the grocery store. Our older kids I'd send them in for groceries, and they'd have to take envelopes with them. And then even with our older daughter, she is 17. She's a senior in high school, and we talked about emergency funds. She has a great job that she has a little sidekick on the side, and she's putting money aside and has an emergency fund. And her car broke down, and guess what? She had money in her emergency fund.
Wow.
And kind of full circle, she is back in school, and she's in a financial peace class.
Lessons in personal finance.
Yes.
Her curriculum at school.
And so she's been able to give tips to her class and to her teacher.
Yeah, for real.
Which has been really funny. But the other thing is the kids have a long commute to school. And so before our daughter was driving, John would drive them 35 minutes to school, and they would listen to your show, Dave. And the kids would start, at first they were rolling their eyes. Don't take offense to that because they're teenagers. But then they started reciting things about what Uncle Dave would do. Well, Mom, you wouldn't believe what these people were doing on Dave's show today. And it was hilarious.
Wow.
But it sunk in because we're practicing what we're what we're doing.
Yeah. You guys have truly changed your family tree.
Absolutely.
You didn't just pay off some debt. You changed everything. Mm-hmm. Way to go. So proud of you guys. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, one more time. What's the key to getting out of debt? You said submit to the plan, right?
You have to.
I would say the key to getting out of debt is putting all the guns at one target. Getting through those stages, focusing on the task in front of you. You can't accomplish baby step 3 until you get to 2. And now we're on 3B, and we're not going to try to move to 4 until we get accomplished with 3B.
Yep.
So stay the course.
Yeah, all the guns on one target. That's a good line. Yep. I like that. Well done. Until that one falls, you just keep shooting at that one target.
Exactly.
And there's a reason for that, and it works, and it gets you momentum, and the emotions that are required to go through 30 months of deep sacrifice like y'all have been through. It's the only way you can fight through it. So, way to go, guys! Way to go! We got a copy of Rachel Cruz's latest bestseller, Know Yourself, Know Your Money. I think you guys will enjoy it. It is done very well. Hit the New York Times, and so we'll send that to you as our gift. So you got the whole gang there to do the debt-free scream?
They're in practice right now, so they're not here with us.
Yep, we couldn't bring everybody together, but it's just us. But we're excited to do it.
And you wouldn't have heard anything. We have 3-year-old twins, Dave. Come on.
I love it. Yeah, we'd have never got through the conversation. All right, John and Ashley, Grand Rapids, Michigan, $63,000 paid off in 30 months, making 90 to 105. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah!
Woo. You know what, Dave?
As endorsed by Uncle Dave.
I'm trying to tell you. But one of the things he said that I love, that I got to use this in the future. I'm going to steal it from him. It may not make sense to you, but does it make sense to the plan?
Yeah.
That is like, I hope America
My
hears
best
that.
thinking got me here, so I need some new thinking.
Yes, sir.
That's
it.
If your best thinking got you into a mess, you need some new thinking.
Come on.
You need something else to align yourself to and go, okay, I got to try something. I got to do a different thing over here.
Yes, sir.
And a friend of mine said, I couldn't get your stuff to work until I submitted to the plan. Submission is a dirty word in our culture. Nobody wants to submit to anything. Ooh. Wow. Ooh. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Vince Lombardi said, "It is time for us all to stand and cheer for the doer, the achiever, the one who recognizes the challenges and does something about it." Amen. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Best-selling author as well. And Brian is with us in Asheville, North Carolina. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Doing well, Dave and AO. How are you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So my wife and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And we've recently been reviewing our retirement investing plans. I have a 401k, a Roth 401k through my employer, and my wife has a 403b through her employer, but that feeds into an annuity. And I was seeing how you would recommend us allocate the 15% of our retirement income.
Okay. Well, by and large, you know, the rock, paper, scissors thing. We're going to take the match first, then we're going to do Roth. And once we've filled up all Roth and match, then we will go to the third one, because match beats Roth beats traditional. And so do you have a match on your 401k?
Yes, I get a 3.5% match on my 401k.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife's match is a little tricky, that they automatically contribute 5%, even if she doesn't contribute anything. And then they'll match up to 2% after that. So if she puts in 2%, they match 7%.
Okay. Wow. Well, I would put in her 2, even though the investment's lousy, because you're getting 100% return on investment before you start.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So I put in her 2 and your 3.5. Whatever past that, then I'm going to fund it all over in your 401k, because you can get into good mutual funds and it's Roth. Past that, I would do individual Roths.
Yes, we're maxing out our Roth IRAs right now.
Both of them.
So it's really,
and you're maxed out your 401k?
No, I'm currently putting in 10%. She's putting in 10% in her 403b.
Yeah, I would not put 10% in hers, because she's stuck in that stupid annuity.
Yeah.
Right. I did recently switch it over to a variable annuity.
That's better if that's available. Yeah, you can get into some mutual funds that way. That's going to be okay. You could be okay. Some of the variable annuities are okay. Have you got good mutual fund options inside of that?
They're not great. They're not as good as the ones that we have through my 401k or our IRAs, but, you know, it's better than the fixed annuity.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the way I'd work the math. What is your household income?
170.
Okay, 15% of that in a dollar figure, okay? Take out then your 3.5% match from that, her 2% match from that. Then I would take out the individual Roth IRAs from that. And then I would fill up your 401k, because you got better mutual fund options than she does, right?
Right.
If all of that does not get you up to that 15% number, which is going to be what, $27,000 or something, right?
Yeah, 26, 27 in that range.
Somewhere right in there. If all of that doesn't get you up to that number, then put some into that variable annuity above the 2% where you're going for the match. But the weak sister in the discussion is the variable annuity, even though it's not super bad.
Okay, great.
Is that right? Am I missing something?
No, that's right. We were just wanting to make sure that, you know, we didn't realize it was an annuity at first when it all got set up, and then when we, you know, went through to reevaluate our investment strategy, we noticed that it was an annuity, and I didn't know much about it, and then I did some research and figured out they weren't that great.
No. That's the problem with the 403bs. A lot of the teachers' situations, the insurance companies have gotten in instead of the investment companies. And so the investment quality is just horrible. But the difference maker can be a good variable annuity. At least that way you're getting to some mutual funds, because you're going to make 2-3 times the rate of return on that you would have on that fixed annuity.
Okay, great.
But still, it's still out of everything. You got some really good options available to you, and if they're all in high-performing, good growth stock mutual funds, the mix like we're talking about, and you're taking all these matches, and you know, the last thing I would get to would be that variable annuity.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think you're going to need it. I think you can get to $27,000 for what we're talking about here, by depending on how your incomes are allocated. But there's nothing that says legally, morally, relationally that you have to put the same amount in hers as yours.
Right.
You can fill yours up and not put any in hers, because she's going to get it all. That's how that works.
Yeah.
It's all hers anyway. It's got your name on it. Now, legally, if there were a divorce or something, you've got access to each other's retirement plans. And so lots of people do have to do all kinds of stuff with those in the event of that. Or in the event of death, obviously, you put the spouse down as your beneficiary. So it doesn't matter where it's parked. All that matters is, in terms of that kind of stuff, what matters is which area performs the best, where you're going to get the best mutual funds. So, again, rock, paper, scissors. Matches first.
Roth is next. And after that, traditional.
And then after that, traditional. And anywhere along the way, you're looking for quality options with the investment, the mutual fund, and the mutual funds that are available to you, and the ones available through that variable annuity, he was saying in that case were not that great. There are variable annuities that have good mutual funds in them.
Absolutely.
They're out there, but that's still a second choice.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Dave. I know some people are probably thinking, well, Dave, they're matching 7% because they put 5% in.
It's 3.5 of his,
right?
2 of hers,
right?
Not of 170.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so that's why you have to back in. If you use the hard dollars, the real dollar amount,
yes,
that'll get you there.
Yes.
And so you say, we're going to make up that number. We called it $27,000, okay?
Right.
And you say, okay, 3.5% of his income, let's say he made $100,000.
Right. Right.
Of their 170.
Right.
Okay, then that's going to be $3,500 out of the $27,000. Then 2% of her income, if she's making 70 out of the 170, then that's going to be another $1,400.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I'm following you.
And we're working our way off at 27.
Yes.
And then we go look at his IRA or his 401k and go, what's the max I can? Or we do the 2 Roth IRAs, $6,000 each. That's another $12,000 off that.
Yes.
$27,000. So now we're getting down to the rest of it going over into his 401k. Can he get the rest of it covered there if it spills over one more time? Every time these buckets spill over, right?
Yes.
So you spilled over from the match. Now you spilled over from the Roths. Now you spill over from the Roth 401k.
Yep.
And the last spillover is going to be over into that variable annuity, if there is any. I don't think in their particular, but if they made $200,000, they would have some of that variable.
Absolutely.
They'd be up there because you wouldn't have used up your $30,000 because that'd be 15% of $200,000.
Yes, sir.
So you wouldn't have gotten there. But that's how you back into it. If you use the real dollar amount rather than trying to figure out the percentages, because the percentages drive you nuts.
Really well.
Because you got to use your household income. Yeah. You want to get 15% of your household income. And when there's 2 different incomes, you're back and forth. It'll drive you nuts trying to calculate it.
It really will.
It's really easy just to make it 6th grade math and start taking chunks off until you get down there. That lines it up a lot faster.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. When a company matches, you put in $3,500 and they put in $3,500. Even if the investment isn't great, you still made 100% on your money.
Yeah.
That's why match is first.
Absolutely.
Even with her 2% and the lesser thing.
Yeah.
And then tax-free is better than no taxes until you take it out, which is tax deferred.
Yes.
But you're going to pay taxes, so you got $1 million tax-free or $1 million taxable.
Yeah.
That's a $300,000, $500,000 swing, depending on who's in office and what the tax law is, in terms of how much you end up with it with your nest egg after taxes.
Yeah.
Your after-tax efficiency. And so match is first. Use that up, spill over to Roth. Use that up, spill over to traditional as your last. And if you can't get it all done with all those, then you've got to do something else like low turnover mutual funds.
Yes, sir.
So you can get there. Absolutely get there. Good hour, Anthony.
Hey, thank you, Dave.
Good job, James Childs. Kelly Daniel in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We will be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section, or head over to DaveRamsey.com and click Dave Recommends. Thanks for listening.